Hey, well, I'm Jared Vineyard. I'm a screenwriter, director, producer.
Well, I do a little deep dive. I see you got Loaded Deck coming up. When you gonna shoot that?
Hmm.
I just had Kevin Sorbo link with me on LinkedIn, and I was like, "Oh
Oh,
shit,
no.
he's
Yeah,
in
no,
the
yeah,
movie."
he's in it. He's fantastic. He's good. He'll be playing a character called Aces. This movie's like a sharpshooter or a little criminal crew, kind of at the center of the film. There, it's pretty exciting. The plan is to shoot in summer 2025 here. So doing the big push right now, get all the funding and everything in place.
Okay, so
Mhm.
you got this movie set up for the summer. Now,
Yeah.
are the actors locked in because it's so far away? How does that work? Do you ha experience to where, people's going to drop out because of other jobs or
Yeah, there's always that challenge of, the different actors will have different schedules and stuff going on. So usually between that time of when you get that money locked in to when you're shooting, you got a few months where you're just playing with the schedule and trying to get everything worked out with everybody. I think we're pretty good. Everyone's pretty excited about the film. I haven't had any big issues pop up yet, but we're still haven't scheduled the dates yet. So we'll work around the schedules of those that we have to and get it all locked up and
do the actors agree on like a blockout date? Do you have like wiggle room? See, mine is basically I wait until people come through the door and then I start filming. You know?
Oh yeah, yeah. We always do a bunch of scheduling and stuff ahead of time on every film that I've been on. So you get the dates that they're available. You lock them in for those dates, and that's where they're going to be there. And yeah, you just work everybody around. And yeah, I mean, it's usually like those name actors and stuff like that you have schedules and stuff to work around other little roles where you're filling in things with new actors or people you're hiring off of backstage. They're pretty easy to fill in. You don't have to worry too much cast somebody else, but
Yeah.
the best possible actors you can for everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's even the little ones are still stressful, and
Yeah.
especially when you have to. I did that for an Alien movie because, like, the one
Mhm.
actor, he was perfect for it, but then he's like, "Well, I'm doing another movie, so I can only film here and here." So I
Yeah.
switched the times around, and then I was almost like piecing people together that weren't there. Like, I want to
Yeah.
shoot this one and that one. In the end, I had to boot his butt because he made me
Mhm.
rearrange everything and to try to please him, and I was like, he causing too much problems.
Yeah. I had one several years back where we had Lou Ferrigno in it and we had Tara Reid in it. And we had like Tara Reid, I think she was like a one day thing that she was coming in and his part was largely with her. And then he was sick and he was calling me and it was still like, a week out, but he was kind of worried about still being sick at that point. So, oh, can we push my dates back to whenever? I was like, we have to have you on this day. I can put all the rest at the other time, kind of slide everything else around. But you have to be there the same day as Tara to shoot the scenes with her. And yeah, so there's always that challenge where you're trying to play with actors' schedules and stuff like that. And I don't know, the whole that first AD chair where you're just sitting there and trying to schedule everybody out and going through all the actors and when they're available and how can I get everything shot that we have to get shot.
People don't
Yeah.
understand the that one person rearranges everything.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah. One person's like, "Oh, can I? Sorry, I need to change. I can't do this day. I gotta do that." And it's like, "Well, that's my entire schedule's gotta,
Yeah, yeah.
to move you is
You're the
moves
one that's
10 other
killing
people."
that guy. If you're not there, then who's going to kill him?
Yeah, yeah,
In my case is okay, whoever put down the boom, pick up the gun. You know, we got to get it done. But
yeah,
like I said, I can imagine because I've dealt with it too. Actually, right now when I film a movie, it's I get the cameras ready, get all that, but I don't even plan it until they walk through the door because I'm so used to people canceling. When everybody gets here, then I'll start, and whoever I got, I'll rearrange it for that. But I'm gonna make
yeah,
something. I understand yours is different because a lot more money on the line. Somebody before, I don't understand it. I watched some what they would call low budget movies. They're like $20 million movies. I'm not gonna mention who was in them. Okay,
yeah,
but they did have named actors in them,
yeah.
but they literally made $10,000 at the box office. They cost 20 million, and then they come back and make a sequel for another 20 million that only made 10,000. And then they said they're planning a third, and I'm like, somebody laundering money or something? I mean,
Yeah, well,
does
I mean,
it?
the theaters is only the first chunk of money. I don't know. So sometimes it does seem like the way. It's like that movie wasn't that great, and they're doing a sequel. Didn't seem like it made any money.
Yeah,
How are they making another one? But yeah, it's weird. Some of the things
maybe
that
they're
get
writing it off. I mean, getting the money back and doing it again. I
I mean,
don't
there are different ways of doing that. I mean, there's the one that I'm producing right now. Like, if people wanted to come in, necessarily investors, they'd be putting in money. They could do it as a complete write-off thing. So, I mean, we've got a partnership with a nonprofit that would allow people to do that. So they could. You do have some movies that get made that way.
You ever see the ones? I mean, I get puzzled when I like look at the IMDb and like the producer. list is bigger than the amount of actors that's in the
Oh
movie.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Well, my producer list already on this one's a little bit longer than what I'd probably like it to be at this point. But yeah, I mean, everyone who comes in kind of helps you make it and get there. You know, you're dealing out these producer credits for someone 5,000 here, you're getting 10,000 there, it's 50,000 there, and each
that's
one's,
true.
who lines it up, they've got a producer credit. You know, the person who finds it has a producer credit, and the person who actually gives it has a producer credit. So yeah, you end up with this
The
hodgepodge thing, with a
location. Oh,
giant
we can
list.
use your backyard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Associated
And
producer.
I don't care if the movie gets made. I don't care if
Right.
there's a hundred producers on there.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we got the thing made. We're shooting. We're going. Hopefully, it makes them all their money back. And
So how did you find funding for it, if you don't mind me asking?
yeah, so investors is the big thing that I'm going, and right now I'm in the middle of going after them too. So the first investor that came in on Loaded Deck, and the one that we were talking about there, was someone I knew, and some people who funded the last movie that I wrote that was made. Now it's just a bunch of, you're just reaching out to everybody. They've set up the whole PPM with the lawyer and all the SEC regulation things. Got all that set, so I can expand the reach out to pretty much anybody at this point. I don't have to worry about, oh, someone you don't know, you're breaking an SEC rule and stuff like that. So that's kind of covered now a little bit more.
That's
But it's yeah.
above my pay
Um,
rate, buddy. That's why I get flying like this.
yeah,
Because glad I usually
yeah,
fund my own. That's why they're very small. But
yeah,
at least nobody can tell me what to do. Although I did
yeah, which
watch
is fantastic.
filmmaking course a long time ago, and I don't know how accurate it is, but it said always go after dentists because they always need the write off more than doctors. So I told another script writer that because she was like, "Oh, I got to get funding." I was like, "When you go to the dentist, pitch your script."
Yeah, so that was the story with Sam Raimi when he started with the Evil Dead series. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the first one he funded was, he was in Michigan and just called up every dentist he could find in the phone book, and yeah, it was apparently the way that he went about that. And ever since then, everybody talks about dentists. But I probably will do a whole
Yeah.
series of emailing dentists, see if I can get any.
You got the Daniel Baldwin and Kevin, so you got the names already on there. And if you
Mhm.
have the nonprofit so they can write stuff off, that's like just
Yeah,
start emailing Dennis, man. Like, we have a
yeah,
way you can write it off if we don't make the money back. But if you do, it's like a win-win. You either going to make money or you get your money back.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you also write and produce and direct, but which one is your
I mean, I came out to be a writer. That was why I moved to LA. I studied writing. I had a degree in it and everything. And although really in college I was studying more playwriting. My senior year, produced my first full-length play. It was from there someone wanted me to write a screenplay for them, and always loved movies and stuff too. And wrote that and enjoyed doing that. And I was like, there's probably more career opportunity to do movies in theater. So go to LA. Plus, if I want to do theater, then try like New York, Chicago. It's cold in New York and Chicago. LA is so much warmer. So
Mine was that I was never good at the grammar and all that, and kind of
uh,
let back in school, but the stories were always there. So yeah, I want to kind of write books and scripts, but it's better just to write a script as an outline. And whenever I screw up, I actually had actors show up and be like, "Jimmy, we don't understand what you're saying here, but we're sure you're going to tell us, so let's just go."
you've got the vision for it, and you can explain
Right.
what you want and
So that's
stuff like
how
that.
come I went to being a director, is because it's the only way I could describe the movies. I have a lot of reputations, one that I don't work well with others, but it ain't that because if I'm going to finish it, so when I start something, I finish it. And if
That's
it's
good.
your project and you're in the way, then I'm still going to finish it. There's one time I was filming up in Pennsylvania, and an actress that I never met before, casted her, and she came up and she was like, "Hey, Jimmy, do I need to know the lines or can I just improv them? Because I heard that, you just let us do whatever we want." And I was like, "Well, I would prefer if you know the lines." Yes, I'm a very good editor and I can edit improv, but please try the lines first.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I've had plenty of those moments where you're like, you've got
Yeah.
the scene, all of the dialogue's well crafted. Most of the actors know their lines, but one actor's just kind of like, there's
Point.
some fun stuff that can come out of the improv too. You
Oh,
never
that's what
know.
I
There's
love
always
that.
fun
That's
things
the
too.
lightning in a bottle.
Yeah,
But the worst
yeah,
one was Second Chance. I wrote that script. The actress that was taking the lead, it was her first lead role. She studied her lines. Everybody studied their lines, and the lead actor just couldn't get it. So I
yeah.
basically had to take the script and throw it out and say, "There's the
No.
outline, let's go," because he was throwing them off. He's like saying lines, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't know when to come in. He's not saying what he's supposed to." So I had to throw it out so we could make a movie because
Yeah.
one can't help the other. They can actually go with whatever he says.
Yeah, it's tough. A lot of, not all actors pull it off. Yeah, it's tricky. And you never know. And every actor is a little different on how they like to be, worked with,
Right.
directed. Some of them want all kinds of notes and feedback. Some of them are like, no, no, I'm the actor. You worry about your thing. I got the acting. And then
I dealt with the prima donnas, but the thing is that, they want to look good too. I've dealt with it on a lot of different movies. I've done over 160 movies, and you can tell when they're not having it, it's going to show on screen whether they
oh
think it's
yeah.
hot or not.
Yeah.
And same thing with the director, because I did a movie to where I was doing crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's, and the actors came to me and said, "This is boring." The hell? They're like, "It's not a Jimmy Traynor movie. Two energy drinks," and I'm like filming through keyholes, and they're like, "Now we're ready to go."
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
they needed the energy from me to bring up their energy, and then it shows on screen.
But yeah, I don't know. You can have lower people who kind of bring it down too. Anyone on
Yeah,
set
one one bad apple can spoil that whole bunch,
yeah.
Why don't you say something? You know, because everybody's in it together.
Yeah.
It's just like when we watch a movie and we're like, okay, the one that bothers me more than anything, and please do not do it, is them low budget movies to where like the hero comes behind and like the bad guy has a gun in one hand and a machete in another, and the hero comes behind and like chokes him out to where he can easily chop his head off and shoot him. And I'm like, all the people on the set and everybody watching that scene, nobody can stand up and say, "Hey, that don't make no sense."
Yeah.
And they still put it in the movie. He got a gun and a machete, and it's okay, here. And I'm like, no, because that right there takes you completely out of the movie.
Yeah, you need to think through those details.
Time wise, yeah, you don't want
I'm always
everybody
a
to
fan.
speak up and be like, "Hey, what
Yeah.
about this?" or "Hey, what about that?" But
Yeah.
hey, we got a film. Everybody needs to shut the hell up. I
Yeah.
understand that because
Yeah.
you have to plan these shots out. So
Yeah.
somebody in the planning should be like, "Okay, so they're going to do this." you know, he's going to fall down all the steps and then just kill himself. Nobody
Well,
can
a lot of
say,
that again comes back to that director, though. I mean, some directors, they're open, anyone can talk to them on set, and some directors you can't say anything to that director. Yeah, that top-down mentality. How do you run the set? How do you
right.
how do you have the
It's a
communication
balance.
set? Yeah, yeah.
It's a
Is there a
balance.
team atmosphere going on, or is it just, this person's a little dictator running around and
Still feel that there should be one because everybody's going to butt heads like, "Hey, we should do it like this or we should do it
yeah.
like that."
Well, I've seen that power structure happen at the top of a movie, and
I like your idea. I like your idea, but we'll deal with it in post. Shoot them
yeah.
both. Let's go.
I don't know. I like there to be some creativity on set to where you've got a little bit of time to where, oh, we can get this really cool shot here that wasn't planned out and stuff. Not try to have a day where it's like, all right, well, we got 2 days left and 20 pages to get. That's that's setting yourself up for failure. Make sure those shots aren't messed up.
That's the opposite of me. I don't. I don't. I
Yeah.
don't plan anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So if it's planned out well, pickups shouldn't be a big issue.
Just
Yeah.
give you a little insight on me when I did the Alien Parasite. This is how crazy I am. We were casting the movie, and one of the actors asked me, "Jimmy, how many people do you need?" And I was like, "I'll tell you when I write it." He was like, "You're casting the movie before you even write it?" I was like, "I'm Jimmy Traynor. I don't care." We shot it with 5 dogs in the house, all green screen. So I knew that everybody had to come back 6 months later.
Mm,
And you don't know where people's going to be in 6 months. And I'm doing a
yeah.
whole feature that I got to do all the voiceovers, which actually took me a year and a half. I'll never do that again.
Yeah,
So
I mean that's your team. Like if you have a really good team, your stress level goes down. I mean,
it's only
yeah,
me.
yeah. And then your stress level goes up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I've been there where you're like feeling you're doing everything and you're like doing things I've never done this before. I'm having to learn on the spot it's good though. You learn though and
I consider myself an editor more than a filmmaker. I do the stupid thing of, "Hey, just film it, I'll fix it in post." Yeah. So I even do it for the podcast.
well, there's a lot you can fix in post, and then there's stuff you can't. But yeah,
I learned so much on that movie. I
well,
learned,
how did it turn out?
oh,
What
it
was
turned out good. I was proud.
yeah.
But the one that I was telling you is that
Yeah.
I had a blonde lead in front of a green screen wearing a chrome outfit, right? So I even sent it to my son who had this editor friend or whatever, and he looked at it and he was like, "No way, no way. She doesn't have a head and she ain't and there ain't a body because everything's fucking green." And they gave it back to me, and I was like, "Okay." because it's almost like a challenge to me. And I did. I gave her back a head,
Yeah.
and I was able to form the body and all
Yeah.
that. But you learn from each one that you
Yeah.
do.
Then you deal with it. I mean, that's the whole producing thing. Is like you got the fires, you put them out, and you figure out when the challenges arise. Then you deal with it. Things happen. I mean, the last one we lost the thunder right before we were gonna shoot. We lost the location right before we were gonna shoot, and then got the location back. And then it was I weighed 190 before it started. I weighed 170 at the end of it. It was like that.
Are you going to do anything in between, or is everything just focused on that?
I'll probably do some other things as well. It's the biggest focus right now is Loaded Deck though. I've got some other projects too that I'm working on and probably some other things I'll get pulled onto. But yeah, that's the biggest one.
Well,
Yeah.
I wish you the best. I thank you for jumping on here and come back to me when you got other stuff to promote.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a good day,
Okay.
man.
All right. Cool. You too.